How did my life turn into a Tyler Perry movie? Part 4. Now, y'all may be wondering, how come I just didn't leave? Why didn't I just go to a shelter? All these other questions. I'm going to tell you why. Again, the system is rigged, okay? I don't want to say rigged, but you have to be in certain, you have to go through so many different processes to get help. You need a social worker, you got to be on lists, they got to be availability. And with shelters, there's literally like no bed availability. And then the ones that are open for 24 hours is first come, first serve. And that's usually during hypothermal season. When hypothermal season is over, it's even worse. There's less space, less bed availability. And again, you have to go through so much to get on a list to possibly get help. And usually you have to have kids under a certain age, or you have to be abused, or you just have to fit in one of these categories. If you are an abused mother, you probably will get a little bit more help, but I couldn't get the help, and I couldn't just leave. I didn't have anywhere to go. So anyway, that's just a little bit of context. Outside of my dad just being verbally abusive, it started also getting weird in other ways. I noticed him looking at me, coming into my room when I wasn't even fully dressed. Credit card came up missing. It's a little difficult, y'all. It even got to a point where, and I haven't told anybody this, but about the looking at me and stuff, but it got very uncomfortable. And there was at one point where I just knew that this man was about to hit me. I felt like he was about to hit, like really slap me. And given his abusive history with my mother, and just how he is, and how he was in the Marines, and how he was talking about how he missed killing people. Yeah, I was scared. For different reasons. It got very uncomfortable. Anyway, time is running out. Things are getting worse, and I'm still trying to figure out what to do. Mind you, I'm not working, so it's not like I can just pick up and leave and take my little brother and get out of there and go somewhere. But as I'm talking, more things are coming to my memory, so bear with me. So now I'm remembering that it was also a deadline for us to get out of there anyway, because he was saying how he had to move. The place was really supposed to be renovated or something, and we weren't even supposed to be in there in the first place. So anyway, it was the pressure of trying to figure out where I'm going to go, the pressure of getting out there, the pressure of figuring out what I'm going to do with my little brother. Just pressure on all sides. Okay, so I just remembered one thing about him too was that he would make promises to my little brother and would never keep them. It kind of reminded me when I was a little girl and my mom would say my dad was coming, and I would get excited and he wouldn't come. And it just made me feel like, it's not quite the same because he lives there. But I would just see how disappointed he was. He would promise him clothes and shopping, and there was one point where he promised to take him, I think, to go to have like a hotel night just to get out the house. And he stayed waiting for this man to come, and he never came. And I didn't want to rain on his parade because I was cooking. He was like, oh, you don't have to cook. My dad is coming and we're going to do this and do that. And I was just like, okay. And I just kept cooking, But I would just see the hurt on his face because he would just keep telling him things, and he didn't keep his promises. I'm not going to say never, but it happened a lot. So on top of all of this, we got to talk about money real quick, because this man would have a wad. I'm talking about like a big wad of money. One time he gave me an envelope full of money, told me to hold it, right? Not even 2-3 hours later, the money was gone. He just kept coming back, dipping in it. Why did you have me hold the money in the first place? Every now and then he would give me money, but I would have to take that same money and put it right back in the house. He would say it would be for me to go to interviews and to help me or whatever. But then after he blew all his money, now that money was no longer for my interviews and stuff. It was for the house, right? I always knew, like, I would not take it seriously when he said this money was for me, because I began to see who he really was, his spending habits, and pretty much that he was a drug addict. So I didn't really trust him on that. But then it got crazy because one time, the way that he gets his food, I guess he owed people for how he got the food. So pretty much because he owed the people and he didn't have the money to pay them, now I needed to pay them. We're going to move on to part 5.